Without a full product, we've been able to onboard 45 schools in 2 countries and generate over 7,000 USD in revenue. So far, we've built a pipeline to generate about 150 USD over the next 6 months. To understand how we got here, allow me to paint you a picture of the education system that we're working in here in Africa. In sub-Saharan Africa, the majority of students live in remote areas. 71% of Kenyans and 74% of Ugandans live in rural areas. These areas have unreliable access to basic infrastructure such as the internet and electricity. Schools here have class sizes of up to 250 students, high student dropout rate, and low learning outcomes. Due to these factors, nearly all schools in these regions are supported by international organizations working with local NGOs. A good example of this is an NGO called Teach for Nigeria. They work in 3 districts in very remote parts of Nigeria, and their biggest challenge is collecting and managing student data. Currently, for only one survey that they are doing, they have to print over 100,000 surveys, send them out to all the schools, get teachers to interview the students, and then this survey is sent to data entry companies where they enter the data on Excel sheets, which can cost them up to 10,000 each time they do this. It takes them over a month before they actually receive the data, and this is increasingly becoming a challenge as they scale from 3 districts to 5 this year. So our goal is simple: enable organizations like Teach for Nigeria to access this data every day in real time. Our key differentiator in the market is that we have identified and built a niche market for ourselves. Whilst many traditional school management solutions are focused on addressing kind of wealthier urban private schools, we're able to serve NGOs that are working in last mile schools in Africa. Our competitors in this field are paper and offline surveying tools for data collection, such as Kobo Collect. However, we are an ecosystem that not only manages survey data, but other student records as well, such as demographics, academic performance, and student attendance. With these organizations can then use to monitor, evaluate, and report on their impact to funders. One of the reasons that we're going to be $1 billion company is because we have successfully entered into the biggest data dark market, something many startups and big companies had tried and failed at. You might be thinking then, why are we the right team to reinvent this digital data management in rural Africa? And I think part of it comes from the fact that we have vastly different backgrounds with very complementary skill sets.
Well, as Ngugi, the co-founder, I have a really good understanding of the market, having studied in a very remote school here in Kenya, where I did my primary and secondary school. And just a bit of that, I think in retrospect, about 90% of my schoolmates did not transition from primary school to secondary school because of many factors, one including a lot of teenage pregnancies and drug abuse, and even poverty was a major contributor to that. Ali and I met in university, and back then I used to be a computer science student in India, where I also worked in IBM as a cloud developer, and where also my idea for my first startup was incubated, which failed, but I had a lot of learnings coming from that.
Conversely, I grew up in Guernsey, a wealthy tax haven in the English Channel. My background is in impact finance and impact measurement, and I've consulted for a number of large clients, including UN Women, several large impact funds, as well as a number of African-based social enterprises. We've known each other for 5 years, and I think that relationship has really enabled us to circumnavigate some of the early failures. A good example is when we raised our angel round, we made the mistake of hiring developers, starting to build the product immediately, which quickly depleted our runway, and we ended up losing our team. We learned from our mistakes, changed our approach, and in 2 months we managed to onboard, those 45 schools, generate revenue through these early signups. You might be wondering how we make money. So we're a SaaS-based product, and we charge $1 per student per term on a yearly or termly basis. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.